is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome in. It's a Friday. And we are here live, as always, on the Stadium Network and all of their platforms. Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. The list goes on and on. I am your navigator, your leader. I am the coach. We are here daily at 10 a.m. Eastern time. However, now that college football is over, there will not be a Saturday show moving forward. We'll decide after the first of the year, but we will be live on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time to get you set for the very important Week 17 and also to look back at two games that will be played on Saturday night. Coming up over the course of the next 60 minutes, we have front page news, a ton of things, good and bad, happened on Christmas Day. Also, we look forward to 4 big games this weekend in the NFL and the NBA. They have another busy night just like on Christmas. We'll look forward to some big storylines and some big games. If you call the Sixers and Bulls big, you're damn right. We can make anything positive. So, yesterday, we're not going to have a recap screen today. Yesterday, it was kind of fun. It's kind of a one-off, and we picked some Christmas plays, some cross-sport parlays. If you watched this yesterday, and a lot of you did, thank you for that. Hopefully, you had a good time. Some bad beats last night. Yes, I had the Minnesota under at like 237, came in at 230, cashed to 3, or at least the T-Wolves did, and then they scored 50 points in the overtime. 50 in 5 minutes. It was crazy. George Pickens, we had him with one of our fun bets, over 78.5. He had a 20-yard catch to cement the game in Washington, and he landed right on 78. So that's the beauty of prop betting and the beauty of betting totals. All right. Housekeeping, it's done. I am fired up for today. I am fired up to end the week in a positive fashion. The only question is, I can't do this myself. Oh, there they are. My company is here, and it's time to beat the books. Oh, and look at the crew I've got this morning. You guys ever have those days where you have a hard time talking, where like your jaw's like kind of cemented? That's how I feel this morning. But I'm fired up. Let's start with the man right next door to me. He was with me yesterday on Christmas Day. We had a lot of fun. We went for over an hour, which was bananas. Say good morning to our numbers guy. He's that for a reason. Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. It's a Friday, and it's going to be a good Friday because we have 3 bowl games and a whole bunch of NBA games.
Let's go. And the man right next door, he's got the best damn beard in the game. You can find all of his stuff over there at Prize Picks. Soupy, what's good?
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas. I did. And right now, having a toddler, I'm up to my neck in toys.
Oh, thank God you said toys. I was like, where's he going with that? And finally, this man, the soccer leagues are back. Oh, we love our day soccer. He is live from the dirty Big Chuck. Happy holidays, sir.
Morning, Coachman company. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I was up late last night. You went under, I went over. Luckily, it could have went either way, so it was truly a coin toss. Yeah, we get back to some soccer. Excited.
It was not a coin toss. I had it. I had it at 227.
I thought it was. I thought it was straight under. So yeah,
that's all right. Congratulations to you. That's the most irritating. It's kind of why I hate unders. Last night's game is exactly why I hate unders. You have it handicapped perfectly, and then something like that happens. By the way, Jokic will be a topic in front page news. My God, last night making NBA history because of that overtime. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. We know Chuck's going to go last because it's Footy Friday in about 5 minutes. But I have a question for the other two. You couldn't even do it in your own box, Soupy. Come on, big dog. Come on. All right, Soupy, best bet. Start us off. Go.
I'm going all college football today. Let's start with Central Michigan plus 10.5. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. So with a big spread like this, let's take the underdog. Both teams are going to focus on the ground game. And Central Michigan, the Chippewas, they actually have a really good front seven. I think they're going to do well at sort of diffusing Northwestern's ground game, especially in short yardage situations. So I'll take the plus 10.5. And I'm going UTSA minus 5.5. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game because UTSA, Owen McCown, he has got an arm, and that offensive line very good at not getting him pressured. He's going to have a lot of time in the pocket to absolutely pick off on FIU. So I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think it's going to be sort of 40 for UTSA, and I think it's going to be in the 20s for FIU. So I didn't even look at that over 60.5 for this game.
All right. I got a couple of questions for you, Soupy. First and foremost, what grade would you give yourself on that take?
Oh, that is definitely a B minus.
Wow, you must have your mom for a
Graded
teacher.
on a curve.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's
Grading
the
on a curve.
holidays. You grade on a curve.
Apparently so. The other question is a serious one. Are there any issues in today's games? These are 6 teams that I don't think have one NFL player on it. But do we have any issues with the portal today?
Looked at both games. There are no significant portal issues for either team. That's been one of the things about the bowl games this year. Some of these, especially like group of 5 teams, there hasn't been that many portal issues. And some of the guys that have been in the portal, they are electing to play in these bowl games.
Yeah, you know why? Because these NIL collectives are not just throwing money at everybody anymore. And that's the problem. It's not a problem. That's the good part of this. You don't need to pay the right tackle of Central Michigan to stay. Come on. Great start there, Soupy. All right. Raphael, you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first? All right.
I'll go first because I got a little synergy with Soupy.
Whoa. This is post-Christmas. We got to do it together. What did you say?
Me and Soupy have a little synergy.
All right, maybe we shouldn't have done it. All right, Raphael, you're right.
Love the UTSA play. I think they have a really good game just because of their quarterback. That's why I'm taking UTSA team total over 32.5. Yes, it's a big number, but don't forget, Kansas State scored 45 points against FIU, and so did UConn score 51 points against FIU's defense. FIU missing 3 starters in the backfield, 2 safeties, and a cornerback. Colin McGowan is going to have a field day passing. I think he has at least 2 to 3 touchdown passes. Love the over in the game. Love UTSA team total over 32.5. And then we're going to the game I might be going tonight. The Pelicans. I'm going to take the New Orleans Pelicans plus 5.5 at minus 110. A little bit shocked it's this high. It wouldn't open up at 3.5. Now it's 5.5. Pelicans playing their best ball all season long. They have covered 6 out of their last 7. And since bringing Zion off the bench, who's averaging 21.3 points per game coming off the bench, they're a totally different team. I'll take the plus 5.5 of the Pelicans.
Finding the story within the story. I kind of like that one tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern is the start time for that game as well. All right, you guys know. And Raphael, if the numbers don't back me up here, then just say they don't back me up. I'm the hottest NBA capper on planet Earth right now. Correct?
That is correct.
That's correct. I know all of you hate it, but the facts are facts. So I said, you know what? Let me just give a little extra post-Christmas present, if you will. So I got 3 big plays. I told you last night I handicapped that under perfectly. And tonight I'm going to do it again. You're going to give me 248? Well, I'll take the under because since December 3rd, the Miami Heat have only hit this number once. And that was 247 in one of those crazy comebacks against the Knicks. The Heat have started to slow it down. The whole reason for this number is because of the Hawks, not the Heat. So give me that under 248. Then, first quarter, I'm channeling my inner DG because the Magic are not an over team, but they are an over team in the first quarter. And the Hornets have really started to pick up the pace in the first 12 minutes. So give me that first quarter over 57. Then my final play, the Jazz are an automatic over. Let me check my notes. The last 6 games for the Jazz. Here are the numbers. 265, 247, 255, 278, 273, 256. Let's go, boys. Let's go. All right, it is Friday, which means our guy, Big Chuck, he doesn't come with one. No. We've got a 5-pack, and we package it all up in a little something we like to call Footy Friday. Chuck, it's always nice when all the leagues come back, when all the nonsense cup games are over. So where are we headed today, sir?
We actually have the festive fixtures. We're going to go to the EPL and happy Boxing Day. We have
Oh,
Manchester United, Newcastle. It's one of those, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The both teams to score in over 2.5. Get this play has cashed in 16 of these two teams' last combined 20 matches. I think we could see a 2-2, 2-1 either way. Then we go on to Saturday. West Ham, Fulham. We have a good old fashioned London derby. And I like the Hammers have gotten the best of the Cottagers as of late. They've won 6 of 10, including 2 draws. That way, I like West Ham on the PK or the draw no bet, meaning if there is a draw, you get your money back. It is a push. And I'm going to attack Fulham on the first half again. They've conceded 5 first half goals in their last 4 matches. West Ham, first half team total over half a goal. Liverpool, Wolves. I'm going to go with a anytime goal scorer, Ugo Ikatike. He's been absolutely red hot as of late, scoring 5 goals in his last 3 matches. And lastly, we had to bring it back. Italy, Serie
Ah.
Atalanta, Inter Milan, the over 2.75. This has come through in 5 of their previous 6 fixtures.
I got to be honest with you, Chuck. I have a tear that just streams down my face whenever we can do Serie A or Bundesliga or La Liga or EPL. All of these, when you throw them together, it's kind of nice. By the way, West Ham, I kind of equate them, Chuck, to the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA. Nobody knows they're playing well, but they're starting to play a lot better soccer, aren't they?
Definitely playing a lot better. They were in the relegation zone, but they've quietly went up the ladder. They didn't score for us last week, even though they had over a 1 XG. I definitely like them in this spot. And unfortunately, the other 3 leagues are on vacation, so we had to roll with the EPL and Serie A this fortunate weekend. They'll be back the first of the year.
Oh, hell yeah. Then that's only less. Well, that's only, God, it's less than a week away. It's absolutely crazy. Real quick, guys, because we have front page news coming up. But we have been talking about the games last night quickly. Well, probably the most resounding voice, Soupy, was JJ Redick. I don't know that I've ever seen a head coach blast a team multiple games in a row after giving up 132 to Phoenix and then last night losing at home on Christmas to the Rockets, who I correctly predicted they would win on the money line yesterday. Are you surprised that Redick is coming out so strong verbally?
No, he's kind of done this before. He did this last year, even in his first year. That's what you need, though. Sometimes, even though these are professionals making millions of dollars, sometimes they need a kick in the rear, especially now. It's Christmas. This is when everybody's starting to pay attention to the NBA. So, this is the Lakers. They are in contention for the Western Conference. So, JJ Redick is just telling them to get in line.
Well, I mean, you had everybody play last night, Raphael. You had LeBron. You had Austin Reeves back. You had Luka, and they lose by 23 and don't even get to 100. That should light the match of any coach.
It should, but you lost Reeves. He didn't play the whole second half, and I think that's when the wheels fell off because of his injury. But I would love to be a fly on the wall when they're watching film and practice because he says it's going to be a bad day, so I would love to be there.
The other kind of storyline B was the Mavericks losing by 10, Golden State scoring 126. So a lot of things. And we'll talk about the Spurs and the Thunder coming up in our NBA showcase as well. All right, we got front page news coming up. If you have any questions, you're watching on YouTube, Chuck will be in the chat for the Bees, and then he'll be back for our NFL segment. So we got you covered everywhere that you are, whether it's on Stadium, whether it's on YouTube, or whether it's on social media. Because coming up next, the Chiefs got eliminated before this week, and now the Lions also, after 15 wins a year ago, they are eliminated. What does it mean? We got a lot still to come. It's Coach and Company live, as always, right here on Stadium.
Down for some deep sea fishing? Crack of dawn Saturday?
We're gonna be all right. We're 4 big, strong men.
Nicholas, it's Mom. I know you went out fishing this morning. This big storm's supposed to hit.
We left some men out on the open water.
4 men in the middle of a giant storm.
This is now a rescue mission.
No visual. Weather getting worse.
Captain, is my boy still alive?
Hope is the strongest thing that we have.
Oh, Oh, in theaters right now. It's the holidays, hanging out with the fam. You can buy your tickets right now. It's a great, great movie. Topic one here in this break, guys, for our YouTube viewers. Bryce Harper, this one kind of slid under the radar, Soupy. He has committed to Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. So we're starting to see all of the top players committing to their country. So I'm super pumped for what March is going to bring us.
I'm excited. I'm always excited for the World Baseball Classic. What I also like too is you do have the best players of the league wanting to represent the country. It was sort of like last year with the NHL and the Four Nation Face-Off. You had the best players for representing each of those countries. I'm excited for the World Baseball Classic, especially America, because they will have Skeens and they have Tarek Skubal in that rotation.
I'm wondering if because of that hockey tournament, which is why all these top players, Raphael, are playing, because the hockey players got such good publicity, and I think the baseball players, they want that too.
You two are 110% correct in that. That reason right, probably Harper, Judge, PCA, the big dumper. We already talked about Skeens on the mound. I can't wait for the World Baseball Classic because I can still remember Ohtani versus Trout last World Baseball Classic.
Wasn't that just cinema? Wasn't that just cinema? That's exactly the way you want your championship game and the way for it to all come down. The best versus the best. All right, gentlemen, still to come. We got a ton in front page news. Not only are the Lions eliminated, the question is Dan Campbell done in Detroit? May not be so crazy. Also, Charles Barkley making news on Christmas. Is he right? And presents. Is there such a thing as a bad present? We got to talk about all that stuff coming up. We're back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, a ton of topics as we are, yes, a sports betting show, but we're also a sports show. We love to discuss topics that may or may not help you in the betting world, but they help you in the sports knowledge world. Let's bring my guys in. And topic number one, gentlemen. Last year, the Chiefs and the Detroit Lions both won 15 games, and they were the toast of the town. It was supposed to be them in the playoffs. Only the Chiefs made it. Why? A lot of people blame Dan Campbell and his decisions. And the Lions, the most wins in the last 3 years, but now Soupy, the bloom completely off the rose because the Lions needed to win their last two, and they needed the Packers to lose their last two. Well, the Packers said at home yesterday, they're like, oh, we'll get into the playoffs because the Lions stink. Is Dan Campbell's hot seat because he's now involved in the offense as well, and they looked putrid yesterday. Is this about to end in Detroit?
No, this is a one-off. They have made the playoffs the last few years. They won 15 games last year, and I think it does have to do with a little bit of changing both offensive and defensive coordinators. You're talking about last week they couldn't score, but they've scored 40 points multiple times this season. I think through every reign, this league is full of parity. So once in a while, you're going to have these teams that have continually made the playoffs just have those 1 year where everything just doesn't go right. So no, I don't think Dan Campbell is in the hot seat right now.
I think you're right as far as your take is correct. But I go back to the playoffs. I go back to throwing the Super Bowl down the toilet because of his decisions. And I think that we're looking at 3 or 4 years, Rafi. Like yesterday, he didn't even know how to call for a field goal at the end of the game. Like he was like I'm like, no, you don't do that. You just go field goal and they run onto the field. I just don't think he's a very good head coach.
Yeah, I don't think he's a good head coach. I think his seat is lukewarm. There's no way he's going to be calling the offense next year. They're going to bring in an offensive coordinator. They're going to take that away because those decisions, not to kick a field goal, when to kick a field goal, those are going to be out of his hands next year. So lukewarm, I believe his seat is. And when did they stop running the ball? I think that's the more shocking thing. They haven't been able to run the ball in 3 straight games.
It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. I see a couple of people in our YouTube chat saying it was really hard to watch Goff in that offense. And poor Amon-Ra St. Brown, he still had 8 catches, something like that, and he looked completely frustrated. Now, on the other side, Charles Barkley it was kind of weird to see their pregame show all day long, and you could tell by 10 o'clock last night, Barkley was pissed. He's like, why am I still here? Well, I was here at 9 a.m. this morning. I'm still here on Christmas Day. But he did say something very interesting early in the day. He said that the NFL is greedy, that the NFL should never have touched the Christmas holiday. But here's the problem, Soupy. They're looking at yesterday's games. And yes, on paper, they weren't that good. But when they made the schedule, they were great matchups. So is Barkley out of line for saying the NFL kind of is trying to steal their holiday?
I don't. I think he's 100% correct. It has always been for years and years. NFL, your day is Thanksgiving. NBA, your day is Christmas. It's always been that way. And I 100% agree that the NFL is just trying to get greedy and sort of take over these holidays. And yes, they did plan it earlier in the year, and these matchups look great on paper and when they probably made them in July. But I think it should have go back the way it is, but the NFL's never going to do that. They're always going to find ways to take over the sports world.
They had 25 million viewers a year ago, Raphael. There's no way you're putting the mustard back in the bottle, so to speak. And Netflix and Amazon Prime, those were the two places that you watched the games yesterday. That's also very, very new the last couple of years.
Yeah, but Subi said trying to be greedy. They are greedy. They took over the college football playoff last week. They had NFL games. Then they took over Christmas. They take over summer with 4 days of the NFL draft. They are the most greediest sports league that I've ever seen, witnessed, and watched, because I'm stuck watching it, because that's all that's usually on TV during the summer is the NFL draft. But they are 100% greedy.
Well, I will say this, that one of the performances that stood out last night was in the T-Wolves and the Nuggets game. And take away the fact that my underplay didn't hit, what that overtime shot allowed to happen is history. And Nikola Jokic went absolutely bananas. One of the great triple-doubles. Well, he's the first player ever to do this that has 55, 15, and 15. He went 56 16 and 15 last night. It's hard to even say those numbers together. Is he putting the NBA once again, Soupy, on notice that don't talk about this MVP thing without including your boy?
I think Joker should have won the MVP. He should have been the MVP for the last 6 years because he continually puts up these types of numbers. He averages a triple-double. That is impossible to do, almost impossible to do when you're a big man, when you mostly play in the front court. That's a guards type of thing. Especially because he looks so casual doing it too. I love it. Looks so easy to him, but yet he just puts up these monstrous numbers every week. That's why he's one of my favorite players to watch.
And it's why it's so annoying, Raphael, to watch him if you're another player.
Yeah, to me, I was doing research on this, and it's availability. He's always on the court. He doesn't really foul out. He's always playing over 50 games every year. His availability, but he should be the MVP. Wemby and SGA was all we were talking about. But you know what? We need to put Joker in that mouth of the MVP because right now he's my front runner.
I mean, think about the numbers that we're talking about here. 56, 16, and 15. Absolutely bananas. Now, one of the things I love, guys, about Christmas is seeing all the different presents that the wealthy quarterbacks will buy for their offensive linemen. We saw a year ago, and this is where a lot of fans go, oh, my God, Brock Purdy is so generous. No, he's got a really good agent that cuts deals with Toyota to get all that stuff for free. But this year, I decided to look at a few other gifts to see what other quarterbacks are doing. And this is kind of funny. So my question is, can you ever be embarrassed when you give a gift? Here's my question, and here's why. Jordan Love gave sneakers to his teammates. Sneakers. Let's say they're $200. Aaron Rodgers gave 4x4s. The videos were of a player opening up a box of sneakers, or you had video of guys that were racing the 4x4s out on a dirt road. Soupy, should Jordan Love, who has a contract of north of $200 million, be embarrassed because of the former Packers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers? I mean, could that happen?
Yes, this is embarrassing because we see this every year. We see the gifts that quarterbacks give to their offensive linemen, to their teammates, especially around this time of year. And it's a lot of really nice, exorbitant gifts. 4x4s, nice jewelry. And then you come ahead and you give them $100. I heard that they were $100 sneakers.
Oh my
Like you're
gosh.
making $55 million. You can't maybe afford the 200. I'll take $250 sneakers. That would be a little better.
I don't like to criticize anybody that goes out of their way, but to me there's certain things, Raphael, that when you are blessed beyond comprehension, you have to pass that blessing along, and that's not it.
The only way we're not talking about this is if he gave everyone Jordan 1s. That's it. If Jordan 1s is the
Well, they
only
can't wear
shoe
'em.
you give. Oh, I know, but that's the only shoe that you can probably give and say, you know what? Wow, everyone got Jordan 1s because everyone knows Jordan 1s are hard to find.
They are hard to find. By the way, I binge watched the King of Collectibles show on Netflix.
Oh, great show.
Ken Golden. The new two things. I didn't know that Peyton Manning's company made that show, first and foremost. Is there anything Peyton's they're not doing? Omaha! But there was a lot in that 6 episodes. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch the new season. It's absolutely ridiculous. Logan Paul, he sells his $7 million Pokemon card. Yes, Pokemon. All right, last topic, gentlemen. And this one, it's interesting because it goes along the same lines as the quarterback gifts. But Josh Allen, who just got married in the last 12 to 15 months, I believe they're also expecting, or they had their child, one of the two. So his family's growing. So he's obviously thinking about feeding said family because his gift to his lineman was a quarter of a cow. And there was so much meat that it required one lineman's wife to go on social media and say we had to go out and buy a separate deep freezer in order to accept said gift. Soupy, should you make somebody you're giving a gift to spend money in order to accept said gift?
My question is, these are 300-pound linemen. How do you not already have a deep freezer? You need to get to 300 pounds. You need to eat a lot of meat. I'm not an offensive lineman, and I have my deep freezer right here too. I love the thing. I put all the frozen stuff. It's great. I would have said if that needed to happen, Josh, hook them up with the deep freezer with. I mean, that could have been a great company gift. Bring in the deep freezer with the meat. That would have been a great gift idea.
How does he not have a deal with a freezer company? That's what I would tell my agent. Like, do deals with every place that I need to buy gifts from. That's what you do, Raphael.
I agree, but if you wanted to make a happy story into this, maybe she should have donated meat to other, food pantries and all that instead of buying a freezer. I could think that could have been a nice story as she donated it to.
This was
people.
Wagyu. This was Wagyu beef, Raphael.
I know.
This was Wagyu beef.
You could have turned the story around.
You want her to walk in someplace and go, hey, here's $3,000 beef for you. How are you going to chop that up? Only Raphael. Only Raphael. By the way, I'm getting a little more information on the Jordan Love situation. They were $155. They were winterized with Gore-Tex. And apparently he also gave them new grills, which you can get at Home Depot for less than $200. Come on, Jordan Love. Let's go. All right, still to come. We got to dig into the weekend in the NFL. It is week 17. It is down to it. Who's going to make it into the playoffs? Where are they going to be when they get into the playoffs? We'll chop all that up. 2 big games on Saturday night, and the second one has a ton of storylines. You talk about bloom off the rose. Is all of the blooms off all of the roses in Baltimore? That begs the question, and we will discuss all of that coming up next. We're only halfway home. It's Friday. Thank you so much for joining us, whether it's Stadium, YouTube, social media. We love that you're here every single day, and we'll be there on the other side. So come on back. All right, gentlemen, somehow the Minnesota Vikings beat Detroit by 13 points, 23-10 on Saturday. However, one of my best bets that I cashed was Brosmer, who I don't even know where he went to school, to be honest. He had 51 passing yards. His number is 181. The most sweatless free, whatever you want to call it, bet I've ever had. But Soupy, should you be able to win an NFL game with only 51 yards passing?
No, that is a college thing. That feels like an Army Navy triple option for 60 minutes type of game. No, when you're playing in the NFL, you've got to at least put up. I would say a respectable number is maybe 180 if you're a heavier passing team or a heavier running team.
Big Chuck, what's more embarrassing, the uniforms the Vikings wore yesterday or this number for their quarterback?
Definitely the number for the quarterback, but I believe he played at Minnesota, so it was kind of a tribute to him to allow him to play in front of his hometown crowd. But yeah, definitely embarrassing, but it just tells you how bad the Lions are. So it kind of goes both ways. So
It really does.
it worked out.
Oh my goodness. Poor Justin Jefferson. They interviewed him before the game, Raphael, and he was talking about how the attitude and everybody's still together. And that's true. But can you still be upset winning by 13, not having any production when you're the best receiver in the league, period?
Yeah, but he's got to know who's throwing him the ball. So I accept his positivity in the locker room and how they played last. Their defense was outstanding yesterday. I think Justin Jefferson should get the D some love. They played really well.
4 catches, 30 yards for Justin Jefferson yesterday. 4 catches, 30 yards. For the season, he's at 947 yards. He needs 53 yards in the last week to keep his 1,000-yard receiving streak intact. It's kind of like the LeBron 10-point streak. It's impressive. He needs 53 yards next week. That's good.
He'll get it.
Well, they've got to try. They've got to try. They got to try. All right, we're talking everything's NFL one-shot. Producer man coming back because we are back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are halfway home. If you're watching us in the East, it is 10:32 a.m. Eastern Time. Out here in the West, it is 7:32, just getting up, kind of coming out of your food coma from the Christmas holidays. A lot of you are not going to work today, so you're starting your day with us, and we certainly do appreciate that. Now, Thanksgiving week, it's always games that are spread out over Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and now it's all about the playoffs. Who's going to get in and who's going to be left out. So let's bring in all three of my guys, Soupy, Raphael, and Big Chuck. And I want to start with the first game tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And guys, the Houston Texans, very quietly, they started the season off horrible. Tons of injuries. Not a great team. And now the Texans are on the doorstep of becoming a player in the playoffs. They clinch a playoff spot with a win or a Colts loss. The Chargers are already in, but their placement, Soupy, remains to be seen. They're laying 2, and that total is a very yuck 39.5. Start us off.
Who would have said that you were talking on the first week of November, you're just starting to listen to the Christmas music, putting up the lights, that we would be talking about the Colts potentially being eliminated from the playoffs because the Texans and the Jaguars could potentially win the AFC South. That's how good the Texans have been. They've been clicking on defense all year. That offense is starting to pick up, and that's why I think in an important game for the Texans, I think they're going to go into LA, and I think they're going to win this game.
It kind of feels that way, Chuck, because this defense has been almost unscorable but the Chargers are coming off a 34-point performance against Dallas last week. So which one gives in your mind?
Chargers just keep on winning no matter what, even with a hurt quarterback. But they also have to have some playoff revenge in mind, getting knocked out by the Texans last season. I like them at home. They still have incentive to win the AFC West, a positioning in the playoffs. I definitely like them at home. And I think we see a defensive battle. So turnovers, field goals, all the above in that one.
It does feel that way a little bit. Right now, the Denver Broncos, obviously in the same division, Raphael, as the Chargers, they would have the first-round bye, which is a little bit of an upset because of the way the Broncos win. Last night, only beaten a Mahomeless Chiefs team by 3. Didn't impress me. I don't think it impressed anybody. But right now, the Chargers would be on the road at Pittsburgh, which is a place that if I'm being honest, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't want to play in the first round.
I think I kind of would want to play Pittsburgh because we all know how Pittsburgh plays in their first playoff game. They always lose. But this one, whoever wins this game, look at the box score, because whoever wins a takeaway battle wins this game. But when I'm also looking at this game, who would I trust? CJ Stroud or a not so healthy Herbert? I'm taking Herbert on this one because I think he's going to put some points on the board. I think the Chargers easily win this game.
Okay. And laying less than a touchdown. We ran into this issue the last couple of weeks. Raphael, do you lay the 30 cents so that 2 and 1 does not come into play?
I would wait because I think Houston money is going to come in because we all agree the Chargers don't have a home field advantage. I think Texans money will come in. I think get a better number.
Okay. Let's flip it over now to the second game on Saturday night. And this is storylines. This is drama. This is maybe the end of an era, guys. Soupy. The Baltimore Ravens have played themselves out of a playoff spot. They are barely hanging on. But Lamar Jackson, he's doubtful. And it begs the question, I don't know how seriously he is injured, but would he be playing if he was getting along with his head coach? Because rumors are coming out of this camp that he is falling asleep in meetings. John Harbaugh said he's never seen behavior like this. And on the other side, you got the Packers, who clinched a playoff spot, not even playing on Christmas Day, as the Lions lost. How do you see this game?
The Baltimore needs to win this game. It's going to be tough with Tyler Huntley behind center, but they do have Derrick Henry, who's rushed for 228 yards over his last 2 games. So I think they're going to emphasize the run. But even with the Packers having Malik Willis as a quarterback, I trust them because you have Willis and you have Josh Jacobs, and Emmanuel Wilson is starting to take over that backfield. I think that option to run the ball against a Ravens defense that is highly regressed since last season, I think it doesn't matter for the Packers that they don't need this game. They're going to win this game.
Yeah, Charles Supi brings up a really good point that because of this game and games like this, you're going to start seeing salaries for backup quarterbacks going up higher and higher and higher and higher, because there's never been a time in the NFL where you needed 2 quarterbacks more than what you need right here and right now. You got 2 teams that definitely want to be in the postseason with backup quarterbacks.
That's why I kind of like Snoop Hundley in this spot. He knows the system well going into this. Plus, I kind of find it hard to believe Love is going to play after that concussion. That was a vicious one. Then we saw Willis get banged up. How long can he go? We could potentially see him get knocked out if he starts a third stringer come in for Green Bay. I think this is a sneaky spot for the Ravens to come in. Their stock couldn't be any lower. I think we see another defensive battle in this one also.
And the Packers right now, if the playoffs, Raphael, started today, they would take on the Bears. And we've seen there's already been 2 fantastic games between the Bears and the Packers. So it begs the question, of all the teams in the NFC, are the Bears the team that the Packers would like to play?
Last time I checked, the Packers own the Bears, so probably yes, I would say in this one. But I'm going to throw a little curve. There's a lot of rumors coming out. There's a head coach needed still in Michigan. Could we see another Harbaugh go to Michigan is what I'm hearing as of late last night and this morning.
No.
Yes, it is, because I think with the Lamar Jackson rumors of going off that they're not butting heads, and if Baltimore loses again, we're going to hear that rumor, and I love that rumor because I love chaos.
Jim Harbaugh left, and then everybody started getting in trouble, and they went on probation because of Jim Harbaugh. And you're telling me? I understand that, but it's the family. It's the family.
I love chaos, Coach. Give me the chaos. Give me the chaos. I love chaos.
All right, let's flip it over. Game number 3. This is a gigantic one. And it's such a big game that when the NFL made the schedule, they made one game at 4:25 Eastern time. And it's this one. It's the Eagles on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills. Both teams have secured a playoff spot. The Eagles are going to win the NFC East. The Bills are still fighting for the AFC East and kind of facing, Soupy, a weird situation for them. Because in the past several years, they've always been the team to win the AFC East and battle for that number 1 seed. Now, they're just battling for a wild card positioning. How big of a game is this for both teams?
I think this is a huge game for both teams because for me, I think the Eagles need to prove that they can win a big game, especially on the road. They I feel like this is not the Super Bowl winning team. I feel like this is the team from 2023 that had all these internal problems that choked away the end of the season that year and didn't make the playoffs. And for the Bills, you don't have to go through the Chiefs anymore. You don't have to go through Baltimore or the Bengals. Josh Allen, this is your time. Prove that you can beat the champions. And then I have confidence in you that maybe you can run through the AFC to get to your first Super Bowl. This is a big year for Josh Allen to prove that he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
That might be right, but they might not have to go through Kansas City and Mahomes. But right now, the way it looks, they would have to go through the hottest team in the entire AFC, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I wonder if Josh Allen is always going to be, Big Chuck, a bridesmaid. Is it always going to be where no matter what, he's behind the eight ball? Because right now, Jacksonville is the one team in the AFC I want no part of.
Absolutely. I think this is a huge game for the Bills. I actually like the Eagles, even though out of all the teams, they have the least to play for, already locking up the division. And they can move up to the second seed for them also, for a little bit of a home field advantage. But I think this is a huge game for Buffalo. Even though I'm liking the Eagles, maybe we could see them win by one. We could hit that middle sandwich, another defensive battle. And then the Bills, they have the Patriots coming, so that's something else they have to worry about in the future. So they definitely don't want to go to Florida. I know that much. On the road, they're just not the same team.
No. And Jacksonville's home field is starting to get more and more. I would love a Raphael middle with 1.5 because we did get screwed.
Tough.
What game do we have where we laid minus 1.5 and then we had the money line and it came
Thursday
in at
night
1.
football, Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Thursday night football. We both lost. Both plays lost. Raphael, let me come over to you because this is it's not only a gigantic game for both, but I think the Eagles are still trying to find themselves and the offense that they're going to need going into the playoffs to make another run to the Super Bowl.
I think the Eagles have found themselves. They've won, 4 straight games, and we haven't heard a peep out of A.J. Brown. We haven't heard a peep of what's going on in the locker room, and their defense has been playing really well. But I agree, this is a big game for the Bills. They have New England behind their back, and they do not want to go to Sunshine, Florida to play the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs. So I think it's a bigger game for Buffalo.
And the last one, quickly, we have less than 2 minutes. And this one has a lot of scenarios that could come into play. Because right now, the 49ers, if they went out because they get the Bears and the Seahawks, it couldn't be any better for the 49ers if they want that number 1 seed and the bye. The Bears are playing at the 49ers in the next couple of days. Soupy, give me 20 or 30 seconds on who needs this one more.
I think San Francisco needs this more because they could either be on the road for the entire playoffs or they could be at home for the entire playoffs. And we're seeing the difference when Brock Purdy is in this lineup. The offense is so much better. The defense, even with all the injuries, are playing up to par. I think this is important for San Francisco.
What about Raphael, the Bears, and making people believe that they are for real?
They are, and if you like the Bears, wait, it's the last game, and we all know favorite and over comes in Sunday Night Football. This game will close at 3.5. So if you like the Bears, which I'm leaning towards, I'm waiting for the number to move.
This is one of the, I think, the most fascinating situations, guys, that we've ever had, certainly in the last 5 to 10 years, because the NFL is starting to figure out the scheduling. And to get this matchup on Sunday Night Football, when we know all of the other finishes, is going to be gigantic. And I think for Caleb Williams, he has a chance to show the entire world when he has the window to himself that he's a legit playoff caliber winning quarterback. We're going to find out. All right, coming up on the other side, we got to dive into the NBA as now they take over because it's post-Christmas. Charles, it's okay. We got it covered right here. Sixers and the Bulls, and also other big storylines as well. This is Coaching Company Live right here on Stadium. All right, guys, normally, I like to go positive, but yesterday, I'm kind of following Charles Barkley's lead. You had 2 games that landed on 33, and then you had the Cowboys and the Commanders that had about as much energy as my two dogs that are sleeping over here on the floor right now. What was the worst game, Big Chuck, on Christmas Day in the NFL?
Well, most would probably say the Lions, the Lions and Vikings, but I'm going to go with those Commanders and Cowboys because I actually went with an under in that one. And lo and behold, the Cowboys defense just lets the Commanders march down the field in that final drive, and then they kick that field goal, needing to score twice. So all I needed was a stop from my good old Cowboys, but unfortunately, they were not obliged to do so.
It was 10. Most people bought it down to 9.5. Soupy, what about you? What was the worst game?
Minnesota and Detroit it felt like it had no life to this game. Jahmyr Gibbs did nothing. Like, rely on Gibbs. That can win you the game. They didn't give him the ball enough. He didn't move the ball. It was just an absolute lifeless game.
Raphael, what about you?
Sorry, Coach. It was your Chiefs game. That was horrible to watch. But the best thing to watch, Snoop Dogg needs to do halftime shows every year. That was fantastic.
Here's the problem, is that Netflix will spend whatever. Networks will not. So you want to complain about the NFL? You got that halftime show yesterday that everybody loved. Everybody loved it. And Snoop, I know how much he makes for NBC. He's making $500,000 a day for the Olympics. So when he does The Voice, which he was just on, that's going to be $15 million. This dude wore a death row shirt on The Voice the other night. Where have we come the last 30 years? From on trial to the biggest baby face from Death Row Records? God bless 2025. God bless 2025. All right, we have NBA to still focus on, as now it's after Christmas, so it's time to get serious. All of the teams have played over 30 games, so now we know who they are. Who are the Lakers? That begs the question. We're back live in just 5 seconds. Several games on the NBA docket tonight, but I want to hit on first a potential divorce, which out here in California, it's like 58% is the divorce rate. But last night we saw another absolute debacle of a performance. Christmas night, LeBron James has played, I think, 20-some in a row. He always plays on Christmas. But last night, perhaps the most embarrassing. And after the game, J.J. Redick said, "We simply do not care enough right now." Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron, the first 10 games, Soupy, it was, man, these guys could contend. Now it begs the question, is it over with the marriage between LeBron and these Lakers?
No, because this happens every single year. We have that point in this of the Lakers season where they're not maybe winning and there's frustration in the team. But all LeBron cares about is from early March to April. If they're still in playoff contention, that's when they win, because all he cares about is getting into the playoffs. He doesn't care necessarily about every other game in the regular season.
Yeah, that's a problem, though, Subi. So I'm going to push back a little bit, because last year they did that, and he fell off a cliff because he was exhausted. When they got into the playoffs, why? Because they had to do the play-in, and then they weren't high enough. Right now, they're fourth and dropping. Raphael, do you agree with Supi's take?
No, I don't. I think this could be his last year in a Lakers jersey. I'm not saying he's going to retire, because I still think he plays maybe one more year because he's LeBron. But I just think we saw the future of the Lakers when LeBron was hurt, with Luka taking over the team and Austin Reeves, and their bench played so much better when LeBron wasn't there. I think we're going to see a totally Lakers team next year.
Big Chuck, is this the last time that all those celebrities can show up, spend $3,000 a night, and watch the King?
I think so. I think it's time for him to step aside. But Bronny hit a 3, so that's a good looking out. So, but I think the key to that Lakers team, I think it's Austin Reeves for sure. I think he's the linchpin to this Lakers going forward. I don't know if they can make a trade with anybody. Who would they trade? Who could they pick up? That's an interesting thought to once February comes around.
The problem is you can't trade for him, because in the NBA it has to be within 15%. He makes north of $50 million because the Lakers are stupid, and they paid him the max. Who said on this show he should not be taking that much money? Who said that? It would have been me. And now they're stuck with a $52 $2 million a year, 40-some-year-old player. By the way, I went and looked up real quick. Bronny last night, 3 points. So he was on pace to score 48 last night. Let's get to. I mean, is that not a fact? Is that not a fact? It's a fact.
True.
It's a fact. Quickly tonight, there are 2 games on Amazon Prime Video, and I'll be honest, I kind of like how they do their coverage. They've kind of thought outside of the box. They put a former player on the bench for both teams. Peacock and NBC are doing the same things, so I like the innovation. But it's Sixers and the Bulls. And Soupy, the Bulls have won 4 straight games. So you wonder, are they starting to get their mojo back just a little bit? But that's a high total tonight.
This has been a strange year for the Bulls. They started off very well, then they plummeted, and now they're coming in winning 4 straight. They're taking on the 76ers, who, if you look at the potential injury report, it's a lot of GTD. So you don't know who necessarily is going to play and who's not going to play. But I like the Bulls just because I love the way they could shoot the 3. I think if it is a higher scoring game, I think the Bulls can stay in contention.
Chuck, we know the Bulls are an over team, but you got to have a dance partner.
Absolutely. I like the 76ers. These two have been going under as of late, but I think this is a more offensive battle. Plus, this line has went down. It's kind of telling you we're potentially going to see more players starting for the 76ers. I like them in that spot, even though the Bulls have owned them as of late. 76ers in the over.
What's GTD, by the way, Soupy?
Game time decision.
All right. I thought you meant to say GTP, like going to play, and I was like, I've never heard that before. All right, I'm glad that I asked. All right, it's time to lock it in now. Or we're frozen. Okay. So 10 seconds or less. Tech, it happens. A lot of rain around the country, especially out here. So if you were not here at the top of the show, we like to give you our best bets just one more time. Soupy, start us off. Go.
Give me Central Michigan plus 10.5. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, emphasizing the run. So I'm always going to take the underdog in that situation, especially with a big number like this. And give me UTSA minus 5.5. I think Owen McCown is going to go off on FIU, who has struggled with missed tackles and yards after contact this season.
By the way, that Central Michigan game, a 1 o'clock start, 3 games. They're all spread out, so you can bet them individually if you like. If you're going to cash with the coach, I'm the hottest NBA capper on planet Earth. These 3 games tonight, under 248. Heat, since December 3rd, they've only gone over this number once. Hawks, yes, they score a lot. But tonight, I think this doesn't even get to 240, to be honest. Then, first quarter, Hornets and the Magic. Magic are an over team in the first half, and then they lock it down on defense in the second half. So let's go first quarter over 57. And then late night tonight, Jazz. The last 6 games, they've gone well over this number. The Pistons, they'll run with them. Let's go over 244, minus 108. Raphael, talk to me.
We're taking the last bowl game, 8 p.m. start. UTSA team total over 32.5 with FIU missing 3 key starters in safeties and cornerbacks. I think Owen McCown has a huge game. And then give me the Pelicans plus 5.5. They've covered 6 of their last 7 games. And I like Zion coming off the bench. I think they win this game, not just cover.
Interesting. And you're going to get 5.5 points of a cushion. All right, we got a 5-pack, and it starts with a big EPL matchup today. Chuck, go.
EPL festive fixtures, Boxing Day, Manchester United and Newcastle. The both teams to score in over 2.5. This play is actually cashed in 16 of these 2 teams' last 20 combined matches. Then we pivot to Saturday, West Ham, Fulham. I like the Hammers against the Cottagers in this spot. They've won 6 of 10 and drew 2 of those matches. We'll go with the PK or the draw no bet. That way, if there is a draw, you do get your funds back. And then West Ham first half team total over half a goal. I'm still going to attack Fulham in the first half. And then we go to Liverpool. They welcome Wolves to Anfield. Hugo Ikatike, anytime goal scorer. He's scored 5 goals in his last 3 matches. I think he hits the back of the net at least once against Wolverhampton. And then Sunday, Italy, Serie A. Atalanta, Inter Milan. The over 2.75. This has come through in 5 of their previous 6 fixtures.
It's an absolutely beautiful thing. So we have you covered in soccer, in basketball, in football, whatever you want, college football as well. This is where you come every single day. All right, Rafael, make me a little smarter.
We're going to Chicago in that Sixers game. The total has gone under in 6 of the Chicago Bulls' last 6 home games.
So we should just blindly bet the under.
I would wait because I think we do see 240.
Okay, very interesting. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, the number one story at ESPN.com right now is University of Michigan targeting Utes legend Kyle Whittingham to be their next head coach. I know you're shaking your head because you love the John Harbaugh narrative. Whittingham is 66 years old. I don't like ageism at all. But why would you bring a 66-year-old in, Soupy, to redo a pro? This is a 5-year fix. This is not a turn it around turnkey fix.
And it all depends on what happens after they do all these investigations. Are there going to be penalties? Are the school going to give out penalties? Is the NCAA going to give out penalties? Yes, this is a 5-year fix, especially with a guy who I thought he was retiring. I guess maybe he wants to change his mind and go somewhere else.
It is interesting when they go retire. Oh, wait, that's open? Okay, my bad. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Great show today, and I know we're going to catch a lot of tickets. All right, producer man, I need that one shot. It's now time for all of you to go out into the world, for you guys to pay it forward. Be nice to one another and enjoy the games all day long. We only have one more week until we get to 2026. We're going to blow it out of the water. I promise you that. But in the meantime, there is only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, love them all. My man, Big Chuck, Raphael, Soupy, producer man, always behind the scenes, and Mikey P helping out as well. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. This is Coaching Company. We are live on the Stadium Network, Prime Video, DirecTV, or YouTube TV. Have a great day. Enjoy the sports. Also, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday.